Today I will be reviewing the Ego 56-volt lithium-ion power head with the edger attachment on Green Neighbor. So getting into the box, you can see you actually get a lot for your money with this package. You get a charger, the power head, the edger attachment. This is the guide wheel, the guide plate. This is the blade, and this is the debris flap. You can adjust that guide wheel, and I'll set it right about in the middle. You also get an Ego 2 amp hour ARC lithium battery. And I will point out that any Ego battery will power any Ego product. The package also includes 2 spare cotter pins, an Allen key, and the Ego multi-tool. You'll need that multi-tool if you ever want to change your blade. So my advice to you, if you do get this package, is don't lose that multi-tool. You get 4 manuals with this kit. You get the manual for the edger attachment, the power head, you get a manual for the 2 amp hour battery, and for the battery charger as well. So let's take a look at these instructions and see what we can see. The first thing that you'll want to learn about is how to attach the power head to the edger attachment. Now you can use the Ego power head with a whole bunch of Ego products, and they're making more all the time. Personally, I've got my eye on the snow shovel attachment. I found connecting the edger attachment to the power head a bit finicky at first, but it definitely got easier. You just have to jiggle that attachment around, and then after you twist this green knob, you get a really firm connection. The next thing you want to do is attach the handle to the power head. Wait a minute. Where's the handle? I don't remember seeing a handle. Ah, there it is. And now I know what that Allen key is for. So let's hook up this handle. You're going to attach it to the power head, not to the edger attachment. It goes on in a jiff. You just tighten up those 4 bolts. The handle has flex in it to absorb shock, but it is also quite snug. The next thing you'll want to do is connect the battery. Now I find this battery looks much the same as the batteries I bought 8 years ago, but it has ARC lithium written on it now. It connects in the exact same way. You might recall from a video that I made about an older standalone Ego trimmer and one of the very first Ego lawnmowers that all Ego batteries are interchangeable with all Ego products. They all charge on the same chargers, and while you're charging one battery, you can just grab a battery off of any other Ego product, pop it in any other Ego product, and off you go. And I don't know what kind of alien technology Ego is using in these batteries, but they hold their charge for a long time and they maintain their performance for years. So the beauty of the Ego system is you're really never out of power. Even just having 2 batteries is essentially enough to allow you to work indefinitely. Having said all that, I certainly won't complain about having a 3rd battery because in the present moment, I certainly have my work cut out for me. I'm going to use the Ego edger to edge all along this curb, all along the sidewalk, and you may have noticed that little flower bed up there. It's never been edged, and I'm looking forward to seeing what it will look like with a proper edge around it. So let's get this show on the road. I'm just going to hook up the edger to the power head, and of course I'm going to put on my safety glasses. And then what I'm doing here is I'm using that guide plate, the one I showed you at the outset of the video. And I'm using that to find the edge of the sidewalk. So I poke around, and when I feel pretty confident that I know where the edge of the sidewalk is, I lift the edger up and then slowly drop it down into the earth. Now the first few times I did this, I stalled it out. But after I established a bit of a groove in the earth, then I was able to continue in a more fluid manner. So here we go. Here's our initial cut, and this will be the staging area for my attack on this entire sidewalk. So the first thing I did here was I just continued a single cut down along the entire edge of the sidewalk, one on each side. This was definitely the hardest part because you're cutting through fresh earth. But I still don't really have that look, the look that I'm going for. And what I discovered is that when you pull it backwards, that's when it really digs out the earth and it will give you that look, that very manicured look all along your sidewalk. And in case you're wondering if those are steel-toed shoes I'm wearing, you're darn right they are. I'm not an idiot. So what I'm doing here is I'm just continuing that motion back and forth up along the entire sidewalk, changing the battery every now and then when I need to. And on just one occasion, I found that the edger got gunked up with some very clay-like soil. So I had to stop and clear that out. But that only happened once. The rest of the time, it just kept going. So I continued back and forth, and before I knew it, I could see that I was starting to get the look I was going for. Now, obviously, there's a lot of debris along the side of the sidewalk that needs to get cleaned up here before I really start to create a nice, clean look along the sidewalk. Now, if you don't have one of these yard waste bag funnels, run, don't walk, to your closest hardware store and pick up this one or something like this. LeafMate is not sponsoring this video, I just really like the product. It makes using any yard waste bag so much easier. And for 20 bucks, you can't go wrong. I mean, I've had mine for 10 years and it's still going strong. Of course, you really don't want to fill up your yard waste bag with soil. Any soil itself can just be thrown right back onto the lawn. So after a whole lot of cleaning, we're starting to get a pretty good look here. How are you? Hey, if you're liking this video, why don't you go ahead and click that like button? We'll find it right about there. Huh? Like that? Maybe think about cleaning your screen. Okay, now on to the flower bed. Now I knew this was going to be a lot easier because here I don't have to worry about a curb or a sidewalk or any cement. And so this really didn't take much time at all. I just went around a few times and then I had to dig out any sod that was left on the inside of the flower bed. After that was done, I was left with a pretty good looking result. So, the job I was least looking forward to was doing the curb. Like the sidewalk, the curb had never been edged in 25 years, and so I knew it was going to be pretty tough slugging. But don't you worry, I'll speed up the video. So, as you can imagine, there was a whole lot of this, and a whole lot of this, and a whole lot of this. But at the end of it all, I took my boulevard from this to this. I took my flower bed from this to this, and I took my sidewalk from this to this. And I did it all without gas, without fumes, without CO2 emissions, without noise. Am I a happy guy right now? Yeah, you bet I am.
The human suspects.
He suspects nothing. He is an idiot.
Shh! The human comes.
Perhaps we should accelerate the schedule.